Hello. The title of today's video is Relax, It Will Chase You. Relax, it will chase you. As you're coming in, please say hello, like the video, and of course, let me know if you can hear me. I always love doing a sound check. All right, but today we're talking about relaxation. Okay, so, are you tired of stressing out to make your dream a reality? Do you want to be able to let go and allow your dream to chase you, but you just can't seem to stop obsessing about it? Well, what if I told you that the reason that most people struggle to let go and detach is because they don't understand the inherent value of relaxation? It's really all it is. They don't value relaxation. So in today's video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to relax, and I'm going to show you the power of relaxation so that you understand its intrinsic value, so it's easier for you to let go and allow the things that you want to chase you, because that's what we're wanting to do, of course, with the law of attraction. Oh, thanks so much. A lot of you have told me that you can hear me over here on YouTube. Adrian, thank you. ASMR Tinkled Pink, thank you. Guillaume, thank you. Thank you, Salika. Cheryl Ann on Facebook, thank you for letting me know. Oh, we got a quick super there. Thank you so much, Happy Daisy, for the super sticker. I appreciate you. And yes, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you, Banji. Hi. Yeah, feel free to say hi. If you guys have any questions about manifestation as I'm going through, of course, I'm going to pause and answer some of those. But again, today we're talking about relax, okay, and how relaxation is what will allow your dream to chase you, and the misconceptions that people have about it. Because a lot of people have misconceptions about relaxation that interfere with their ability to detach. So we want to demystify all of this stuff. All right, so let's jump on in. All right, so the first thing to understand about why when you relax, your dream will chase you is that a lot of people don't value relaxation because they believe that if they are in a relaxed state, they're not going to be strong. They perceive this idea of being in charge as someone who kind of clings and efforts. And so there's this misconception that relaxation is somehow weak, okay, or it's lazy. But in reality, the power of relaxation is that relaxation is actually the vibration of being in charge. In charge. Now, until we understand this, it's going to be hard for us to lean into relaxation to detach because we feel like we're giving our power away. But I want you to think about this, okay? Think about the people who are in charge. So I want you to think about the boss at a company. Or you could think of a king or a queen. You could think of the most popular person in your friend group. You could think about, the person who's got the most power in any situation. More often than not, what you're going to notice about these people who are in charge is they often have a very relaxed state of being. Now, that's not to say that they can't be passionate, or they couldn't yell, or they couldn't move quickly. They can do all of those things. But when you think of a person who is in charge, they often have a very relaxed demeanor. Okay, they have a relaxed demeanor. So if you think of like a king or a queen, kind of regally walking around and allowing things to work out for them. Okay, so the thing to understand about relaxation, the very first thing we want to understand is that relaxation is actually a component of being in charge. When you decide to relax, when you decide to let go or detach or become indifferent, you actually step into in charge vibration. Now, when the person is in charge, the person in charge gets what they want. The person in charge is the one that other people work for. The person in charge is the one who other people fetch their water or bring them things or help them out, okay? And the same is true, not just in your one-on-one relationships with people, but also when it comes to your manifestation. It's the same energy. So somebody who is relaxed has that in charge vibration, and so all the components of their reality work for them. So you will notice this when you're in a really relaxed, in the flow state, that it is as if all of the seas are parting for you. Okay, so the example that I like to give a lot is traffic, because if you drive a car and you practice the law of attraction, this is one that you'll see. If you can get yourself into a relaxed state while you are driving, it's a very interesting thing because the lights turn green for you, people let you in, everything works out. Why? Because you're the one in charge. Okay, you're the one in charge, and so your reality is doing everything to make life easier for you. So please don't make the mistake of thinking if you relax, you're giving up your influence. You're not. When you relax, you actually become more in charge. And that's our first reason why when you relax, your dreams will chase you. But we have more. We have more. But first, let's say hi to a few of you. Thanks so much for joining in on today's video. It's always lovely to see you guys. Hello, Abundant Queen. Hi, Louise. Louise says, let's go into the vortex. Yes. Peace is back. Nice to see you, Peace. Hi, Cowlitz Bill. Fairy Dragon. Hello, everybody. Hi, ASMR Tingled Pink. Rainbow Traveling Yogi. My lovely assistant, Mary, is here, of course, with us, starting at 50. Nice to see you guys. Welcome, welcome. Diana Lynn Segura on Instagram says, I moved a traffic jam along and achieved traffic flow again. So you've seen it. Yeah, exactly. You get relaxed, you are in charge of the traffic. That's our first point there. Excellent, excellent. All right, guys. I noticed here another super real quick. Thanks so much, Joe. I appreciate you for the super sticker. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, and of course, guys, if you guys have questions about manifestation, feel free to go ahead and drop them into the chat because I will be happy to answer some of these. Let's see what we got here. ASMR Tingled Pink asks, I want to spend money to attract more, but I currently don't have to spend and have no stable income. I used all savings to have April rent and hope to cover the bills. How can I turn things around? Oh, okay. So this is a good question because that's something I talk about a lot on the channel when it comes to attracting money, is that it's helpful to circulate money to attract more of it. So as I let go of it, what I'm essentially saying, when you spend, if it's money, actual money, not credit card debt, okay? It's a totally different thing. So don't pull out your credit card. This is for cash transactions, debit card transactions, transactions with actual cash. The easier it is for you to let go and spend your money, the more the messages you put out to the universe that I've got plenty to spend, I always have enough, it's easy for me to let go of this, all right? And that will allow you to accumulate more money. So ASMR Tingled Pink is asking a question about this. So there's no extra money right now to spend. That's okay, okay? So what we always want to do is no matter where you are, you want to build on what you've got. So what I'm going to tell you is maybe you don't have money today to go to the mall and pick out a new dress, okay? But what you did say in this statement was you're paying for rent. We're paying for bills, okay? That still counts. And so I'm actually kind of glad you brought this up because a lot of times people hear that suggestion and what they hear is, I need to just go spending willy-nilly. I'm not spending enough. Whatever you validate grows. So whatever you guys already are spending money on, you want to have that attitude. So what I would recommend, especially when we're talking about rent and bills in this particular situation, these may not be fun purchases, okay? But we really want to validate that I'm happy to spend this money. I'm glad that I have money to pay for this. This is easy for me to take care of. And so some things, particularly with bills, that can help to amplify your ability to let go and attract money is to not be so resistant about paying for the bills and instead to think about why are you glad to have that service? And why are you happy that you can pay that bill? So for instance, I've got some guys that do the lawn care. Y'all may hear them come passing by. Sometimes they come through, right? And so every month I got to pay that bill. Well, I like to think about that. I'm glad that these guys come and keep my yard nice. That's so nice of them to do that. And I want to make sure that they get paid and compensated for the work that they do. I want to know that. So I'm happy to pay this. I'm happy to pay this. Do that with the things that you're already paying for. Because if there's any resistance about the bills, that'll help dial that down. And also, you're going to get it into the habit of saying, I have money to pay for this. I'm happy to pay for this. And then you'll have more opportunities to do so with the more fun purchases. Great question. Pretty mesmerizing. Oh, my cat of 18 years just passed, and I'm having a super hard time calming down. I feel panicked. I hope I grasp this. Okay, with grieving, don't fight it. That's the big thing. Okay, so a lot of times when people are grieving, they want to try and make themselves relax. I don't want you to try and make yourself relax. Okay, instead, I want you to give yourself permission to feel the way you feel. Okay, so right now I'm upset. Right now I'm grieving. Okay, rather than I need to hurry up and relax about this. Okay, and the reason why is if you don't allow yourself to feel the way you feel, you actually become resistant to the feelings that you're having, and they can amplify and get worse. And so that can happen. If somebody wants to hurry up and get over their grieving quickly, or hurry up and get over the heartbreak, it actually keeps it anchored in place. Okay, so it's okay to feel the way that you feel for as long as you need to. If you have that attitude, those feelings of grief will become easier to manage, and they'll fade out much quicker. And I'm sorry for your loss. Very sorry for that. All right, guys. Again, today we're talking about relax. It will chase you. And that people don't really value relaxation. That's the problem a lot of people are having. Okay? If you don't value relaxation, you're going to have a really hard time letting go, because it's going to bump up against all these flawed belief structures about relaxation. There's a lot of people think the wrong thing about relaxation. Again, the first thing that people think that's incorrect about relaxation is that if they relax, they're letting go of their power. If they relax, they're not going to be in charge. And what you have to understand, you can witness this in your own reality. The people who are in charge are always relaxed, or at least more relaxed relative to the people that they're in charge of. Okay, so when you understand that being relaxed is actually an in-charge vibration, it's easier for you to do it because you understand the position that it puts you in. But we do have some others that we're going to talk about too. Real quick, some business. Just a reminder, my new course is going live in just a couple of weeks. The name of this program is going to be The Golden Path. And so this is a program, and I'm building this program based around a lot of the questions that I've been getting in the chats about people who are either struggling with their current work or they're wanting to get into a new type of work. But the overall gist of these questions is either I'm working too hard and making too little, okay? Or perhaps I'm doing something I'm passionate about, but the money's not coming in. Or I've had a successful career and made lots of money, but I hate it. And so there seems to be a very big need out there for people who want to have a career that they're passionate about. They want something that they can do that's engaging and that's fun and that's really geared for them so they can enjoy doing the work, but they don't want to feel overworked and they want it to make a lot of money. You don't have to pick one or the other. You can have it all in this situation. And so to answer these questions and to help get you guys moving in that direction where you manifest a very passionate and profitable career, I've been working on this program. Again, the name of it is The Golden Path. It's going to be live in just a couple weeks. And in this program, I'll be going through all this stuff, walking you through it. And if you go ahead and sign up for the notifications for this program, I will send you the launch information when this program goes live, along with information on what all is included and a 50% off coupon code. Because the first week that this program goes live, it will be on a half off sale if you have the code. So to make sure you get it, please sign up for the notifications. The notifications, I'm sure Mary's dropping a link in the chat on Facebook and on YouTube. If you are on Instagram, the link for all of my stuff is always in my link tree in my bio. So make sure to sign up for those if you haven't yet. It's coming up soon. All right. Snow Sparkle's got a super here too. I'm going to get this one in just a second, Snow Sparkle. I'm going to get into my next point, and then I'll grab your question, okay? All right, so again, we're talking about relaxation, flawed beliefs about relaxation. When you relax, your dream chases you. This is why, okay? Our second point here, okay. It's similar to the first one, but it's an important thing to understand, okay? Most people think that when you relax, you're going to lose control. If you relax, everything's going to fall apart. If you relax, the bills aren't going to get paid. If you relax, things aren't going to get done. That's what most people believe. And this belief structure right here is why a lot of people will hold on tight. I got to keep trying. I got to keep working. I got to stay on it because I don't want to lose control. Andrea, tell me to relax just means I'm going to lose control. Okay? That's the flawed belief. Okay? In reality, relaxation is the vibration of being in control, having things in control rather than out of control. Okay? That's the flawed belief. Now, when you understand this, when you understand that you have a lot more control when you're relaxed, it becomes a lot easier to relax and detach and let go and let your dream chase you. Okay, so this is a very important thing to understand. And so what I want you to think about, I want you to think about the thing that you're best at. Okay, so what's the thing that comes easiest to you? Maybe you're a good baker. Maybe you're a good basketball player. Maybe you're a good mom. Okay, for me, one of my best, and that's why I do the job that I do, communication. Okay, I can write. I won a spelling bee when I was little. Like, communication is easy for me. Okay, it's one of the things that I'm best at. And so when I communicate with people, I'm very relaxed. Do I look stressed out? Very relaxed. You can put me in front of anybody and I can have a conversation. And notice that. The thing that you're best at, you have a very relaxed attitude about, because the vibration of relaxation is the vibration of everything is under control. Think about it. When you're relaxed, you believe everything is under control. That's why you're relaxed. There are no problems. That's why I'm relaxed. But when you're holding on tight, when you're trying to make things happen, when you're worried about your dream manifesting, the reason why you're holding tight is because you believe it's out of control. That's why I'm trying so hard, because I'm worried it's not going to work out. I'm seeing all the problems. But the person who's relaxed believes on a subconscious level that everything is under control. So this is the second thing to understand about valuing relaxation. Again, this is one I see time and time again because I've coached a lot of people. You know, my family gets it from me too. But if you see people pushing and rushing and you try to explain that to them, okay, you keep doing that, it's just going to get worse. They don't want to let go because they believe on a subconscious level that if they let go, everything's going to fall apart. But it's actually the exact opposite. Because when you're relaxed, what you're saying is everything's under control. And that again puts you back into that boss energy or that person in charge energy who's just able to walk through life and things work out for them. Doors open, traffic parts, money shows up. Okay, so you need to value that part of relaxation. This is one of the big things a lot of people have wrong. And if it's a hang up that you have, it will prevent you from letting go. Instead of stepping aside, letting things work out, you're going to hang in there and create more problems. Okay, very important thing to understand. We got more, and let's grab this super real quick from Snow Sparkle. Thank you, Snow Sparkle. Snow Sparkle asks, does generational trauma or patterns get passed down? If so, how to move beyond them? Thank you so much. I appreciate all you do for us. Well, that's a good question. This is a term that people are talking about a lot more recently, this idea of generational trauma. Okay. So, at its essence, when you're looking at generational trauma, it's really about psychological trauma, right? Or negative belief structures, toxic traits, okay? Essentially, low vibration thinking that gets passed down from one generation to the next. So it does get passed down. The reason why it gets passed down is that whatever environment you are born into, you are going to be picking up on what's going on. Now, this can be a question of the chicken and the egg. Who came first? Did I align with this or did I just show up into this? It really doesn't matter. The reality is that as you were young, if the people around you had negative belief patterns, then the prior generation is going to influence the generation that is living in that home. Okay. How do you move beyond them? What I would say from my own personal experience, becoming aware of it. So some of you may have this experience where if you look into your family structures, maybe your parents or your grandparents or your aunts or your uncles, maybe they have toxic behavioral patterns. And the ones that don't get over it are oblivious. They're completely oblivious to it. So if you don't know that there's a better way, then you're probably going to stay stuck how you are. But if you're here with me and you're learning on how to improve your life, and that's kind of the content that you're following, I think a lot of you are going to have a lot of success breaking generational trauma. Excellent question. Great question. Raven Aurora 40 on Instagram says, "This is so true. I just moved back to my hometown and I'm feeling relaxed for the first time in a good few years. Can't believe I was functioning in the tension I was dealing with before." Yeah, because when you relax, everything just gets easier. Most people believe once it's easier, I'll relax. That's the problem. But when you're relaxed, things just get easier. Yeah, and once you settle into that and you look back to how things were when you were holding on so tight, you can see that power. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stacy on Facebook says, relaxation needs to be practiced. It is a disciplined action or non-action depending on how you look at it. That's an interesting way of putting it. You know, I would say for a lot of us, I would agree with the idea of discipline. So for some people are just easygoing, lucky going, kind of people. And so it's no big deal for them. But if you've grown up in an environment where you tried hard, you worked hard, you stressed out, it does require practice to make it habitual. And so that's kind of why we're talking about these things here today, because until you have some reasons in front of you to practice relaxation on a regular basis, you're going to hold back on it and you're not going to be quote unquote disciplined. And until it's a habit, relaxation is a habit of yours, you're not going to see the benefits of it. Okay, so yeah, I like that idea of it being disciplined. That doesn't mean we need to work hard, but the idea is that it's something that you're doing consistently. It's not just a one-off thing. I want to hit the lottery, so I'm going to relax about the lottery, but I'm going to stay stressed out about all this other stuff over here. Okay, it has to be habitual across all different domains. Good point. Oh, that's a good question. We got to answer this one. Very on topic question here. And it wasn't something I was going to talk about. So I'm glad you brought up this question. FFF student asks, how much relaxation is too much relaxation? Where is it appropriate to relax and let go? And where is it appropriate to take action and do something about it? Okay, that's a good question. Okay. There is a point. Okay. So here's what I want you guys to understand. You want to be in the flow as much as possible. Okay? That's the core thing. Now, in flow means I'm moving through life and everything's lining up. I'm moving through life at a comfortable place. This is pleasant. This is enjoyable. Okay? You can become so relaxed that you slow down and actually fall out of the flow and become somewhat comatose. Okay? And I've actually gotten to that point at some points where I just valued it so much that I put action on the back burner to the point where it was almost hard to get off the couch. So this is a really important question, because one of the things about the law of attraction is whatever you're doing is going to gain momentum one way or the other. So if you're slowing down, you can slow down to the point where nothing's getting done and life slows way down and starts to get boring and lethargic. Okay. So I'm not talking about being comatose here. Okay. What I'm talking about is letting go when you're being resistant and you're trying too hard. But that doesn't mean we throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? There is still action that we're going to take. There are still things that we want to do. It is still fun to take action. Okay, so this right here, I'm taking action, but this is fun. I'm enjoying this. I'm not comatose on the couch. Okay, so you want to seek to have that kind of balance in your life where you're in the flow. If you start to feel comatose, time to get up and do a couple of things. Okay, and again, the law of attraction will reinforce whatever you're doing. So if you get up and start moving a little quicker, reality will start to organize in a way that allows you to kind of keep up that pace. Pacing is really important with your energy. I don't think it's something a lot of people talk about in this field, but I found it to be enormously important that you want to make sure that you're in that flow state, but flow state can and often does include action. So we don't want to just toss that out. Excellent, excellent question. Glad you brought that up. Opulent Beauty. Would you ever consider doing meet and greets or retreats? I think a lot of us would love to thank you in person for positively changing our lives. Well, thank you so much. I'd never thought of that before, honestly. So that's a great idea. I'll think about it. It would be nice to meet people in person because I feel like I know a lot of you because I see you week to week. So it's a great idea. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And we've got another one from Denise. Thank you, Denise. Denise asks, my adult son is making bad choices and is financially dependent at 31. How can I align with the aspect of him that is making good choices? Oh, good question. Okay. So the big thing with the moms, okay, I'm a mom. My kids aren't 31, but I'm a mom, so I kind of get it. The big thing with the moms is we often have this sense of I need to take care of my children, okay? If they fall on hard times, I need to be the one to lift them up. When they're younger, when they're little, it can come down to things like I got to make sure that they're eating the right foods. I got to make sure that they're paying attention in school. I got to make sure that they're getting good grades. When they get older, I got to make sure that he's got a place to live. I got to make sure that he's going to be okay. Okay. And so this is often problematic with mothers. And part of it, again, when we're talking about energy ramps up, okay? Women, when we have children, one of our characteristics is we nurture and we take care of, okay? That can build up to the point where it's too much and we don't allow for the child to become more independent. So what I would say in this situation is I would take this off your list of things to do, okay? I would take this off your list of things to do. And as much as you can. Not my job. He's 31. He can figure it out. He's old enough to figure it out. You know what? If he falls down a little bit and falls on some hard times, it's probably good for him. This is going to teach him to make better choices. That's one I like to think about a lot when my kids make mistakes. Maybe they bring home a bad grade, or they do the wrong thing, or they get in trouble. Okay, well, good. Now he's going to know not to do that next time, rather than I need to protect him from those choices. So what I would say is, just as much as you can, whenever you find yourself tensing up, good, he's 31, he can figure it out. And it's good for him to fall down. If he falls down, that's okay. He's got to learn sometime, He's old enough to handle it. He's a big grown man. He can deal with it. Okay. Rather than I'm worried about the choices that he's making. Okay. Hope that makes sense. All right, guys. Again, today we're talking about relaxation and why when you relax, your dream chases you. Now, a lot of people have flawed beliefs about relaxation, which is why they don't relax because they're afraid their dream isn't going to chase them. That's why they hold on so much. So a few of the flawed beliefs that we've talked about before is that a lot of times people think that if they relax, they're going to lose their power. They're going to lose their power. They got to work hard and struggle to stay on top. It's incorrect. The people on top are the ones who are most relaxed. The next one we talked about was that people believe that if they relax, everything's going to fall apart. They're going to lose control over everything. That's why I'm working so hard. That's why I'm trying to fix everything. Because if I relax, these problems can't possibly resolve themselves. That's inaccurate. When you're relaxed, you put out the vibration that everything's in control. And then, surprise, surprise, a lot of life's problems just fix themselves. Happens all the time. Okay? The next one we're going to talk about. Okay. A lot of people don't want to relax because they're looking at their reality and saying, well, I got to be realistic about what's going on here. It hasn't shown up yet. He hasn't called yet. This isn't working out. We're about to get kicked out. Reality is telling me there is a problem. That's why I can't relax. Okay? But what you have to understand is that relaxing is what will make everything turn out well. Because relaxation is the vibration of all is well. All is well. And your reality obeys your vibration. When you are relaxed, the message that you are projecting out into your universe is everything is well. Everything is okay. It's all good. Think about it. Why would you be feeling any other way? When you're relaxed, that's because you feel like everything is okay. You feel like everything is good. Therefore, that's the vibration you must project into your reality in order to get it to organize in such a way that everything is good. Everything's working out. Okay? So for this one, I want you to think about when you go on vacation. Now, not all of you. Think about a good vacation, okay? A good vacation. So sometimes we go on vacations that are stressful, but ideally, hopefully you've gone on at least maybe one vacation where you really wanted to go on that vacation. Maybe it was a cruise, maybe it was a beach, maybe it was a trip around Europe, but it was something you really wanted to do, okay? You were really excited, you wanted to have fun, and so you went on vacation and you were very relaxed and you were enjoying yourself. You put work away, you stopped worrying about all the stuff at home. You're like, I'm on vacation, I'm just going to relax. Now, when that happens, you will notice, and I've noticed this myself a lot of times when I'm on good vacations, it's magical, okay? You have a beautiful afternoon, you see the sunset, you have wonderful food and great service. Why? Because you're relaxed. It's not because all of that stuff was there and then you could relax. No, you showed up at the vacation ready to relax. You showed up ready to let go. And because of that, everything worked out. Now, a lot of people don't think that's how it works. They think that they got to make things work out and then they can relax. But if you look into your reality, you'll see that that's incorrect. Every single time you work yourself and your nose into the grindstone, you don't end up seeing things working out very well. Things will end up getting worse. There will be more stress. There will be more problems. You will end up getting more tired. Sometimes you'll end up getting sick. Things will fall out of your favor because the message that you're putting out is not all is well. It's, I got to work hard. There's stress. There's problems we got to overcome. We got to get over this hump. Just got to get through the week and everything will be okay. And so you're not projecting that message of all is well. It's all good. This is why relaxation allows your dreams to chase you. When you tap into that feeling of relaxation, you automatically project a message onto your reality that says, it's all good. Everything's all good. And then reality will attract to you an all good reality. People will be friendly, the sun will come out, you'll have a good hair day, you'll make some extra money, your dreams will start to chase you. Okay, so don't make the mistake of thinking that, I need to be real about what's going on. Okay. If you need to be real about the problems around you, I can't relax. I got to be honest about what's happening. All that happens is you reinforce the problems that you're paying attention to. And that will continue on forever until you choose to relax. So don't wait for the next big vacation in 6 months or a year to let go. Start doing it now. Start doing it now. Start relaxing now, today and every day. But again, not to the point where we're comatose on the couch, right? Like we mentioned a couple minutes ago. If you guys haven't yet, of course, I haven't mentioned this. If you haven't yet, please make sure that you subscribe to me over here on YouTube. Also follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. I do lives like this once, sometimes, usually twice a week, and I love spending time with you guys. So if you haven't yet, please make sure to do that. Also, a little bit more business here. If you haven't yet, and I know most of you have, please make sure to take my manifesting test. Okay, so if you want to know for sure that you are the creator of your reality, not just what this lady on the screen tells you, but you want to know for sure you're the one that's creating your reality, I've designed a very quick and free 5-minute test where you can put something out and watch it come back so you know your intrinsic power. You can take that test at manifestingtest.com. Of course, that's manifestingtest.com. I'm sure Mary is dropping those in the links. And if you are on Instagram, you can find the link in the link tree in my bio. But manifestingtest.com is the direct link. Ooh. Oh, we got another super here. We grab this and then we'll do the next point. Luis asks, ooh, you're a Capricorn rising. Ooh. As a Capricorn rising, I had to work hard to relax and let go, stop getting upset when structure is broken, etc. But I realize it's not about inaction. It's about being cool under pressure and not worrying so much about the outcome, letting things flow. Exactly. So this is just, confirmation of what we just said. Yes, it's not about stopping. I like what you said here. It's about being cool under pressure. It's about being able to act but doing it in a relaxed manner. So the example I always like to give is if you look at a professional athlete who's having like a great game, they're working, but they look like it's easy. They look like it's effortless. That's kind of the attitude you want to have as you're taking action throughout your day. Great way of putting it. Excellent. All right, Opulent Beauty, I'll get you in just a second. Okay, thank you. All right, let's get to our next point here. Again, today we're talking about relax and it will chase you. And some misconceptions about relaxation. Until you learn how to relax, you're going to have a hard time getting your dreams to chase you because that's the missing piece. But a lot of people have misconceptions about relaxation that prevent them from just taking it easy. Okay, so let's talk about the next thing here. All right. A lot of people believe that pushing and trying gets things to work. Okay. But the misconception here is that pushing and trying, it introduces resistance into your reality. Okay. And so whenever you're in a pushy mood, or whenever you're trying too hard, whenever you're working too hard, it doesn't matter how much action you take, because essentially the message that you're putting out is there are problems we got to deal with. This is going to be an issue. And we're issuing out all this resistance. When you have resistance, you push everything away that you want. But relaxation is a state of non-resistance. This is what we have to get into our mind. Relaxation is a state of non-resistance. When you are relaxed, again, you are in the flow, allowing things to work out left and right. Relaxation is a very detached energy that allows things to chase them. Now, you can notice this, okay? When you're around somebody who is pushy with you, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about somebody else. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's a neighbor, but there's somebody in your reality who's being very pushy and insistent with you. What do? you back away from them. You don't want to answer their call. You don't want to do what they asked you to do. Maybe they're trying to convince you of a way of thinking. You don't want to hear it. You will argue back with them every time. And if you don't believe me, try it yourself. Try being pushy intentionally with the people around you. Try bossing them around and see what kind of a result you get. Every single time, period, you will not get a desired effect. You will not get that person to do what you want them to do. They will do the exact opposite. They will fight you, or they will ignore you, or something like that. Why? Because you're being pushy, so you're being resistant, so you don't get what you want. However, when someone's relaxed and is just kind of explaining kind of what they want, it would be nice if this happened, it'd be nice if that happened, things work out. And people end up doing what you want them to do. Some of you guys, if you're married, you may have seen this with a spouse. A lot of times spouses have problems with this, where one spouse will nag the other spouse and they just can't get that other spouse to do what they want. But some people have this figured out. So like for me, if I want something, I'll just casually mention it. Oh, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. And wouldn't you know, my husband just goes and does it. I didn't have to ask him directly to do it. I didn't have to nag him. I just casually mentioned it. And if he does it, great. And if he doesn't, fine. And he does it. Okay? By the way, if you want to get your spouse to do stuff for you, that's what you got to do. Okay? And the reason why is that relaxation. When you're relaxed, you're in a state of non-resistance. You're not being pushy. You're not being insistent. Again, a lot of people really believe that pushing is how you get results. But if you look at it and actually pay attention, you will see that every single time being pushy, being insistent never gets results. So you really want to put that in your mind so that the next time you can feel yourself getting pushy, oh yeah, that doesn't work. I just got to relax, because being pushy is just going to make it not work out. Okay, very important thing to remember. Oh, we got the other super here from Opulent Beauty. Thank you for the super. She asked, my 4-year-old daughter Rhea is watching right now, and she has a question for you. How do you manifest a new blue house with a playground and a puppy? Ah, thank you for watching, Rhea. It's nice to see you. How do you manifest a new blue house with a playground and a puppy? Well, Rhea, what you want to do is you want to think about and imagine playing in that new house. So I want you to sit there and think about the best blue house that you can imagine in your mind. And I want you to imagine that playground and the puppy. And I want you to think about playing with that puppy in that house. And what I would also say for a 4-year-old girl like you, I would also probably practice imagining that and doing some make-believe and pretend play that you're actually playing in that house. Okay, I would really recommend that, because the more you think about this and play with that and make that kind of a dream image, the more you'll bring that into your life. Thank you for the question, Rhea. Oh, that was fun. Nice to see you. Just looking through. Lay1111 Lay on Instagram. Hi, Andrea. Is your new program good for someone who doesn't know what kind of business to do? Yes. Yes. So it could be one of two boats. Either you don't know what you want to do. Okay. I'll show you how to figure it out. Okay. Or you kind of know, you kind of feel like you're on the right path already, but you're not sure what direction to take. Maybe you kind of like your job, or you kind of like your business, but it's not really going. Either of those would be good. But yeah, you can have zero clue and I'll walk you through it. Okay. Yes. Great question. Tony asks, hey, Andrea, I'm having perimenopausal symptoms. I'm finding it hard to reframe my mindset about it. What should I do? Okay. This one's kind of a loaded question for women, I think, because there's a lot of fear that women have about getting older often or about menopause or anything like that. Okay. And so what we want to do is we want to find a way, again, like you're saying, trying to reframe your mindset. We want to get away from the idea that what's going on here is a problem, and rather we want to make it okay that it's going on. Okay. Now, the beauty of making it okay can mean that it would delay the onset or make it go away or whatever. But really, what's important is that we want to be in a state of mind at all times that no matter what happens, it's all working out for me. Okay. So, just in case, I don't know why this is popping up, but I'm sure you guys have heard about these tariffs. I don't watch the news, okay? So when I hear things, I hear it like second, third hand, but I guess, there's a bunch of tariffs. And I'm not trying to make a big political statement here, but my husband was talking about it and he had some things to say. And I'm like, so what? He's like, yeah, but if it happens in this and if it happens in that, I'm like, it doesn't matter if they place tariffs or don't place tariffs. You can get a positive result either way. He's like, yeah, but what about these people and those people? I'm like, it doesn't matter. They can have a positive result either way. What you have to understand is reality is infinite. So no matter what happens in your reality, you can get a positive result. No matter which direction you take, you can get a positive result. And so a lot of people believe there's one way to do things, and I got to get on this path here to avoid all this hairy, scary stuff over there. Okay? But when we have that mind structure, we are resistant about this stuff over here, and we end up drawing it more into our life. Okay, so in this particular situation, what I want you to think about is maybe why it's good to be the age that you are or the age that you're coming up into. Okay, and I want you to think about what is it that you want to have most? What's most important to you? Okay, so for me, because I'm a woman and I'm in my 40s, I've spent actually quite a bit of time because I learned about the law of attraction when I was right about the age of 30. Okay. And I think that's about the time I really started getting scared about aging, which is funny because now I'm quite a bit older. But from that time period, I've really kind of been working on reframing aging in a way that it works for me. So things like, getting older is nice because there's different stages of life. I wouldn't want to be stuck in the same stage at 30 for the rest of my life or the same stage at 22 for the rest of my life. Isn't it nice that there are different stages and different chapters that we get to explore so we don't get bored? Okay. Other things, one thing, this is one thing that I've noticed, and actually there's actually a lot of evidence to this if you look out for it. If you look at happiness studies, it's a very interesting thing. The happiest people demographically are also the oldest. So the happiest people on the planet, you're usually looking at people that are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Who knew, right? Now, I think a lot of it has to do with this idea of letting go, okay? But think about those things. I want you to start to think about aging in a positive thing. Why is aging a good thing? And what is it that I really want for my life? I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. I want to enjoy it. And I can do that no matter what's going on with this stuff, okay? Think about those kinds of things. Reframing aging for women is very, very helpful, okay, for most of us. Proof Rock with the super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Sean, relax is a feminine, it is. Yeah, so you got the feminine and masculine energy, the yin and the yang. Okay, so your action is more your masculine. Your relaxation is your feminine. Notice in the yin-yang symbol, by the way, what does it look like? It looks like 2 teardrops or water drops. Okay, this idea of flowing. Okay, so like we were talking about a little bit earlier, if you dial too much into relaxation, you become comatose. Action does help keep that balance. Okay, but yes, relaxation is a feminine energy. I would say that at least in American culture, I don't know about all cultures, in American culture, for at least by my observation, it really had been downplayed for a long time. A lot of women in particular in our country are kind of bred to be more action oriented. And so as a country, we kind of collectively celebrate masculine energy, which is why it's often very hard for people to let go and relax, because this idea of being relaxed, this idea of being more of a feminine state is often kind of shoved aside. So that's why we're talking about, you need to relax, not you need to take action, because for most people, at least where I am in the world, they need to learn more how to relax. They've got that masculine energy part down pretty good. Great point. Not something I've really talked about before on here. Christina asks, I've worked on my dreams for years. It's not coming because I can't let go. Going from working hard to being relaxed would be difficult. How do you balance from going from one extreme to the other? For this question, you can always use momentum, Christina. That's a good point. Again, whatever you're doing becomes reinforced. So if you've been working a lot and you've been carrying like a really busy schedule, that's become habituated and it's become very normal, and it's become reinforced to the point where moving at 100 miles an hour is normal for you. And to go from that down to 25 miles an hour, it's almost unbelievable, okay? Because you have so much energy ramped up into it. The same thing is true on the reverse. If you're in the comatose state, okay, getting from there to running 100 miles an hour, it's a big jump, right? So in this situation, instead of trying to let go all at once, what you could try and do is just ease out of it. So I don't know what you're doing in particular, but let's say that every day you're working 15 hours a day. I hope not, but let's say that you are, okay? Instead of going from 15 down to 2, maybe take an hour off for a little bit. Let that get normal, then take another hour off. Let that get normal, take another. And at the same time, as you're decreasing the amount of effort that you're putting in, add in some relaxation activities. So instead of an hour of work, maybe I'm going to have an hour of meditation, or an hour of painting, or an hour of walking. Okay. And what will happen is it will get easier for you to slow down to the point, and you want to get to the point where you're still taking action, but you feel good and you're moving at a comfortable pace. Okay. So use momentum to dial you back. Once you feel like you're in that nice, comfortable place, you're good. Okay. So it's a good question, because a lot of times people think, I got to stop totally. You don't have to. You can just ease back into the flow. Emmanuel, thank you for all this wisdom. Is it wrong if you have an interest in a person, you visualize them being in your life? Isn't it going to have the opposite effect? Ooh. It can. It can. Visualization, if you're in a place of just kind of, it's a pure joy kind of question. So Rhea asked a question about a pretty blue house, and she's 4 years old, and I know a little 4-year-old isn't stressing out about getting that blue house. Okay. So in that situation, we can have Rhea visualize. Okay. But if I'm in a situation where I have interest in a person, maybe I've wanted them for a long time and I'm really stressed out about getting them, now me thinking about them could have the opposite effect, because me visualizing is an example of me trying to make it happen. Okay. Now I will say this, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay. No rights or wrongs here. You can do as you see fit, but I would really think about that. If it hasn't really picked up, if there's nothing really there, or if it feels like it's not going to happen, visualizing can reinforce feelings of lack. Okay. So for you guys, visualization is a very powerful thing. There's nothing wrong with visualization, but you want to gauge where you are vibrationally before you engage in that process. If you know that you're stressed out about this, probably better to go do something else. Get your mind off of it. You'll get much better results with distraction in that case. If, however, it's something where maybe there's this girl and you've been talking to her and things are heating up and you can tell she kind of likes you, go ahead and visualize all you want. But you have to kind of be honest with yourself about, how am I feeling? If you feel optimistic about it, visualize away. If you feel pessimistic, put it down. That's the good rule of thumb for that one. Good question. Sarah on Facebook. Hello, Andrea. Thank you for your content. How to come out of burnout. I'm single parenting. What is your advice? Hugs. Oh, well, I'm not sure what all of your burnout is related to. I will assume that you're single parenting, so you're probably, dealing with some overwhelm with the children and the housework and possibly working also. Okay? So all the more important for those of you out there who are single parents, who have a lot going on, all the more important to relax. Okay? So the trap is the more that's going on and the more responsibilities on my shoulders, the more I'm probably going to lean on these old belief structures that if I relax, it's not going to work out. If I relax, I'm going to lose control. Okay. But in these more heightened situations, it's actually more important for you to relax. Okay. So in a situation like this, if you feel like you have responsibilities stacked to the ceiling, what I want you to do is to think about which ones can I eliminate or delegate? Which things can I start to let go of? Okay, so the example I always like to give is a very silly one, but maybe it will resonate with you. When I first started learning this, it was around Christmas time, and I always used to do Christmas cards. Okay, and I was always overwhelmed at Christmas time, and I was doing Christmas cards. I don't even know why, because my mom had done them, her mom had done them, everyone in my family did them, and I was stressing myself every year out making these Christmas cards. Well, I realized the more I did, the harder life was going to be, and the more likely I would encounter burnout. So I took the Christmas cards off the list. Okay. Now, maybe one of my aunts got upset about it, but really, who cares? Does it need to be done? No. Okay. Chances are for most all of you, there are going to be at least a handful of things that you are doing on a fairly consistent basis that you do not need to be doing. In a situation like this, take inventory, get those things off the list right now. Okay. Because what will happen is you're going to start doing a little bit less. And again, reality reinforces wherever you're at. So if you start doing less, reality will reorganize itself where it will take even more off your plate. So then you evaluate again, is there anything else I can take off my plate? Okay, take this off, and it will reorganize. And it will also start to line you up with more help and support to help you with what you're doing. Okay, so try that out, Sarah. Great question. I think, I don't know if I got this one. I think I already got this one, but if I didn't, thank you. Thank you for the super, Proof Rock. Higher Self asks, how to help a lack mindset husband. I receive all the time out of thin air, LOL, and he's always saying, well, I sorted that for you. I don't have this or that. Okay. The husbands, okay, or the wives, the partners, the roommates, people that you're around on a regular basis, there can be kind of a concern as you accelerate your consciousness and you start to see that you can make things work out, and you see that your partner isn't doing the same thing. There can be this tendency to feel like I need to fix my partner. I need to get them to think more positively. They're doing this all wrong. Okay. But when we start to think that, what we do is we anchor in place the idea that he's not going to change. She's not going to change. They've got this all wrong. Actually makes it harder for them to make the jump. So instead, what you want to do with your husband, let him think as limitedly as he wants. Okay. And I might even play a game out of it in my own mind. He can think about that as lack mindset as he wants. He's just going to watch me make more and more money. Eventually he'll see and he'll figure it out. I don't even need to tell him. He's going to see it. He's going to see it. In fact, I hope he holds on to this lack mindset so he's even more wowed by all this manifesting magic that I'm able to accomplish. Now you're not pushing against the lack mindset. You're like, you know what? Keep it around. Watch me with all my magic. He will be much more responsive to that kind of energy because he'll start to see and learn from you rather than push away. Again, remember, a lot of times people, they get pushy, okay? When I don't relax, I'm being pushy. And as soon as we start getting pushy, husband needs to learn the law of attraction, he's not going to want to, okay? So instead, let him be as ignorant about it as he wants to be. You're going to sit over here and do whatever you want. And by the way, it doesn't matter how lack mindset your husband is. You can still manifest as much money as you want. Okay? Keep that in mind. Excellent question. All right, another reminder here, guys. It's coming up in just a couple weeks, my new program. If you have not yet signed up for the notifications, make sure to do so because I will be sending out that coupon code in just a couple weeks for 50% off, and it will only be good for 1 week. Okay, so again, the new program is all about finding your passion and profiting from it. It is going to be called the Golden Path. And in this program, I'm really addressing a lot of questions that I've been getting here on this live from people who maybe they need to work or they feel like they need to work or they want to work, but for whatever reason, they've either been attracting jobs where they're working really hard, and not making the money that they want to make, or maybe they've had very successful careers, but they don't like the work that they do. Or they want to start a business or they want to start a job, but they haven't the foggiest clue where to begin. A lot of people believe you kind of have to choose, okay? Either you're going to make money or you're going to do something fun, or you just need to be lucky to find something. But the reality of it is you can manifest all that you want in a career. You can manifest a career where you get to do what you want, work at the pace that's in your flow, and make as much money doing it as you'd like to do. And so in this program, I'm going to show you how to align with that. Again, if you haven't yet, make sure to sign up for the notifications. That coupon code's coming out pretty soon. It can be found in the description on YouTube and on Facebook and on Instagram, the link tree in my bio. I will be coming back. Let's see. Hold on a second. I will be coming back on Thursday of this week. So if you guys have enjoyed this live, make sure to come back and join me on Thursday if you can. Same place, same time, which is 11:30 a.m. my time, wherever that corresponds to where you are here on Earth. But it's been good talking to all of you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And